In some cases, the idolatry of Elvis Presley has become a family affair. Ever since he was a child, Jimmy Garvin has pledged loyalty to Elvis. His appearance is modelled on the singer. Presley studied martial arts, so does Jimmy. His sister Joanne has been a fan since early childhood. When Presley died, she considered it a deep personal loss. Joanne works as a nurse with the aged and handicapped. As with her brother and her mother, she keeps clippings, posters and recordings of the singer, constantly adding to the collection. In the house where Elvis is king, his most devoted admirer is Dulcie Garvin, a nurse who fell in love with both the singer and his era.
Okay. Well, rock and roll was the real thing in the 50s, 60s when Elvis first started. And I grew to like him more in later years when he's, you know, sang more ballads and gospels too. That's what...
A lot of people talk about him as a very sexy sort of man. Do you see him as a sexy man?
No, I don't look on him that way at all.
Do you not?
No.
You see him...
No, I look at him as just the person he was, that we gave so much to so many people. I find, you know, especially, as I said before, with his gospel songs, I get a lot out of those at times.
What happened? What led you to your interest? Was it your mother who drew you to Elvis?
Well, she didn't draw me into it, you know, like she didn't break my arm or nothing to do it. It's just that, you know, we just sort of watched the pictures, and at state school, me and my sister Joanne, they had Elvis films there once a week, 2 of them, and we used to always be there watching them. And we used to always watch them on the telly, and I reckon when, you know, Elvis died, that's what hit us the most, how much we really did love him.
Do you recall the announcement of his death?
Yeah, well, I didn't know till I got to school, and one of my girlfriends was a really, you know, avid Elvis fan, and she was crying, and I walked up to her and asked her what was wrong, and she said, Elvis is dead, and I, you know, laughed it off. I said, oh, don't be silly, he's not. And then I was listening at recess to the radio, and it came across that he was dead, and it really shocked me then, because before I didn't want to believe it, and I started crying. And even now, if I see concerts of Elvis, I'll sit there and cry. Not so much in movies, but a concert, because he's performing. It's Elvis. He's not playing a part. He's not acting. And I just find I just can't help it. I just sit there and cry.
The most loyal group of Presley followers is in Melbourne. The Elvis Presley Fan Club of Victoria has 3,500 members, and although there are similar organisations in other states, this is by far Australia's largest. There are more men than women in membership, some of whom are old enough to have been involved in the more vital Presley years. But the club claims the allegiance of men, women and children ranging from 6 to 60. For $3 a year, subscribers receive a regular newsletter compiled by the club's president, Wayne Hawthorne, one of the few Australians to have met Elvis and visited the Presley home in Memphis, Tennessee. The newsletter contains details of the club's activities, critiques of Presley's records and stories about his life. It's circulated not only in Australia, but in many countries overseas.
Why were the 50s special for you, for instance?
Well, the 50s were special to me because that's when I grew up. I grew up in the 50s, I had an older brother who was into the scene. I had a mother who, still have got a mother, who was very much into that scene, and it's always just remained special to me. The style of clothing, the hairstyles, the music, the lifestyles. You know, in those days there was no drug problem. It was just a very special time.
How long do you see Elvis going for?
Forever. Yeah.